Hello, everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a great day. So, I've got some catching up to do, per usual. I just had a really busy day today, and the last couple of days have been hectic. Amberlyn Reed's favorite word, hectic. It has been hectic, but I'm here to sit up for the rest of the night and catch up. So, I'm going to make this easy on myself and start with the shortest videos and live streams that Chantal has done and just get those out of the way first before I move on to the longer ones. So what are we doing right now? Well, Chantal has done a variety of different content. Nothing really all that interesting, but still. She did a Q&A video. She did a community post where she did ask her subs and her viewers to ask her questions. She said, I need content. So let's do a Q&A. Chantal is always looking for the easy way out as far as content, basically just doing the equivalent of show and tell with the grocery hauls, with the Temu hauls, just holding up random objects and saying, oh, look, I got this. Oh, look, I got that. And now she's doing Q&As. She's telling her people to send her questions. And then when she did the video, answering the question, she was in quite the mood, which begs the question, why were you giving attitude, Chantal? You asked your viewers to send you questions because you needed content. And then when they do, as you ask them to do, then you get mad at them. So where's all that attitude coming from? If you don't want to answer questions, you should come up with your own ideas for content. That's just my opinion. What do I know? I'm just a content creator, but so yeah. So she sat down with her little red lipstick and her little bad attitude, and she was very salty and bitter and nasty about answering the questions. And I'm here to do a react to that, plus react to the stuff on Twitter. So how about we just get into all the interesting Twitter clips, courtesy of all the wonderful Twitter peeps that are posting this stuff on Twitter, because some of you aren't on Twitter and you like me doing the Twitter recaps to kind of catch you up on what's going on Twitter X. So how about we just start here with a post from Yup Yup. Yup Yup says, wow, Foodie Beauty really loves her beezers who ask annoying questions. So here is the screenshot. This is the thumbnail and the title for the video. Answering your annoying questions. Love yas. No. You can't do that, Chantal. You can't do a thumbnail like this with a title like that and then say, love ya. No, you don't love it. You're really not loving it. You're not loving your viewers for asking the questions. You're desperate for content to the point where you're going to your viewers and your subscribers and saying, hey guys, even though I've been on YouTube for 8 years and I should know how to do entertaining content without your help, I am so boring and I'm so lazy. I'm going to come to you and ask you what I should do for my channel when I already should know by now. So you went to people, you said, send me your questions, and then you have the audacity to do a thumbnail with your little red lipstick and your little smarmy attitude and your smarmy look saying, answering your annoying questions. I don't understand why people are subbed up to you. Your attitude is such a turnoff. Why do people on your side of the fence put up with your attitude when they don't have to? There's tons of great channels on YouTube, great content creators who actually give a doggone about their channels and about their content, and they're all about just bringing their best each and every time. And here you are just putting down your viewers and making them feel like they're worth nothing, talking down to them like they're pieces of dog crap. And they're letting you get away with it. And maybe that's why you do it. As long as they continue to let you get away with it, you'll just keep doing it. But I digress. I'm going to get off my soapbox now. But y'all can see her thumbnail. Answering your annoying questions. Well, you don't have to, You didn't have to ask people to send you questions that you'll turn into a video so you can make a little bit of coin, but you're all about making that coin these days, and you don't care if what you put out is boring or not, as long as it makes that holiday coin. So you get what you get from that girl. If you don't like people asking you questions, make your own content with your own ideas. It's really simple. Okay, so hello YouTubes says here once again, Foodie claims to have Googled the chicken wing information. Here below shows very clearly and came right up on Google that chicken wing bones are not safe. You stupid animal blanking blanker. Actually do your research, animal blanker. So Chantal was feeding chicken bones to cats. And that is rather dangerous because for a variety of reasons, and we're going to go over them. Pay attention, Chantal. No, cats should not eat cooked chicken wing bones. There's the hazard of choking. Cooked bones can splinter easily and get stuck in a cat's throat, causing choking. They can also cause internal bleeding. Cooked bones can hurt a cat's mouth, throat, and esophagus, which can lead to internal bleeding. There's also the issue of possible toxicity. Leftover bones can contain toxic human products like onions and garlic. Yeah, it all depends on the seasonings and whatnot that were cooked with the chicken, because some things are used as seasoning for chicken. And things like onions and garlic are very toxic for a cat. So no, Chantal, you can't feed chicken bones to the cats. You shouldn't be doing that. All right. Alea Sultana says, now this is luxury desert camping. Her loser of a husband couldn't spoil her if he wanted to. Let's take a look. I think this is what you would consider glamping. I've heard of glamping where you go camping, but it's all kinds of glamorous. It's very like posh camping. So this would be like a glamping, poshy, richy type of thing. That looks really nice. I don't know if they have that over in Kuwait, but that looks nice. That would be high quality glamping type situation. I like it. There we go. Yep. Nice couches, nice pillows. Very, very nice. Very nice. It's almost like a hotel room. I'm liking all of this, but what I saw in the camping video was nothing like this. Nothing at all. I saw basically what looked like tool sheds with air conditioning units in them. And I'm wondering if Salah got one for him and one for her, because God knows I wouldn't want to spend the night with Foodie in a shed like that with her sweating all day and stinking up the place. Heck no. He probably got one for each of them. And you know what? I'm going to stand on this, y'all. I think the camping trip, I think by renting the campsite that he did, he was actually poking a middle finger at Chantal. He was picking the most unpleasant circumstance he could find just to make her miserable. He made sure that there was an air conditioner for her, but everything else was, shall we say, rough. It wasn't the most glamorous or comfortable thing. And maybe there was a reason for that. Maybe he deliberately picked rough living conditions out there just so she wouldn't be sticking around for long. Maybe she'd want to come home early, and that way the trip would be cut short. I mean, hey, Salah likes to throw that silent shade, does he not? Yes, he does. So like, she might have been yelling and screaming, it's our anniversary. We should do something special. And he's like, okay, you want to do something special, even though you know I don't like you, then I'm going to make it as unpleasant as possible. So we won't have to fight about this ever again. You'll hate this so much, you'll leave me alone about it. So I think he deliberately picked the most unpleasant thing he could think of for Chantal. He knows what she likes. He knows she likes air conditioning and staying in a room and sitting on a couch and being comfortable. He picked the most uncomfortable thing for an anniversary. And when it comes to the anniversary, like if you're a husband, wouldn't you want to cater to your wife if you love her? And the fact that he didn't proves how much he really doesn't love her. So this glamping site, I think it looks great, but that's not what she got. Far from it. Michelle Elise says, Foodie Beauty, that was the most awkward attempt at a first kiss. Thank you for sharing it with us. So yeah, while at the campsite, this was like their first on-camera kiss. And how did he do it? He did it with a hockey mask on. He made sure to put a he put a mask on. And can I just tell y'all something? Look, I watched part of the camping video and I felt all kinds of icky watching it because Chantal was seizing every opportunity to grope and grab all over Salah. When she did like the couples live with him on the Salah and Chantal channel, she was picking little games to do that would require him touching her. They were doing like the thumb wars and rock, paper, scissors, just so she could touch him. She wanted him to touch her. So it was like, I don't know what's going on into her, but there's been a lot of emphasis lately on, I want to touch you and I want you to touch me. And it makes me feel all kinds of icky because to me, it's just like you are forcing someone to have physical contact with you that does not want to have contact with you. And I'm sorry. I don't care if it's a man. It's still gross. All right. So Fondue Pondu says, Chantal, it is not a reactor's job to cam up. You dance for us, clown. No one is obligated to cam up. So you, Yo Mama, and Teardrop can call people fat. And about fupa balls, yours drags to the ground and your fake husband still can't lift it to blank you. The nerve. So what is this? I guess is the comment. I guess Chantal's talking about Frenchie saying, because the coward doesn't have the fupa balls to show herself on cam since this picture. You know what, Chantal? You've been yelling and screaming for Frenchie to cam up. And Fondue Pondu is right. Frenchie has no obligation to you or anyone else to cam up. If she wants to stay off camera, she can stay off camera. If that is how she feels comfortable and she wants to do her reactions, then she can do it. I mean, she's doing very well on her channel with the way things are. Have you ever heard of the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Well, it's working for her, so why should she change it? What are you so sweating about? Why are you sweating over the fact that she's not camming up? Her system works for her. So why are you so mad? Look, all you want is for her to cam up so you can have something to say about how she looks. And I think it's funny that the longer she stays off cam, the madder it makes you. You are just so big mad over the fact that you can't see her. It's kind of creepy how obsessed you are with seeing her face. It's weird, Chantal, weird. Judge Judy says, Foodie Beauty, tell us nobody has done anything romantic for you in your life without telling us nobody has done anything romantic for you in your life. You call this a happy anniversary. Beesh, please. I've seen better conditions in a prison vlog. Not the prison vlog. Yeah, nothing says love like a tool shed on wheels. You know, that's just real love. And no shade on anyone who lives in, say, a mobile home or a camper. Y'all know my situation. You know, I just came from living in a trailer, and it wasn't the best, but it was home. So no shade on whatever your living situation is. I just think it's funny for her because she doesn't know how to rough it. She doesn't know how to adjust. You know, she's not the kind of person to say, hey, we're on a campsite. And yeah, maybe things are a little bit rough, but let's just roll with it. Let's have fun with it. Let's do fun stuff anyway. Let's adapt. She's not adaptable. She whines and she complains and finds anything to complain about. And she's miserable if she's not in a room with AC. And I love that the most for her. I love the fact that she's not adaptable, that she's such a big old marshmallow. Love that for you, Foodie. Queen of WTF says you wanted people to ask questions. You have a choice on what you want to answer. Right. So, like, she didn't have to answer the annoying questions if she didn't want to. She didn't even have to do the video if she didn't want to. I mean, she's a content creator. She can just say, screw it, I don't want to do it, and do something else. But she did come to her viewers and say, hey, I need content. I need content ideas. I don't know what to do. So ask me some questions so I can make a video and monetize it. So they did what she asked them to do, and then she turns around and yells at them for it. That is just messed up. Talk about biting the hand that literally feeds you, Foodie. Nana Spike T says her Q&A is a dud, but this part got me. Really, Foodie Beauty? You're more active than people healthier than you? Stop it. That's a complete crock of crap. Here's my question to you. Like what? No, seriously, what? Girl, you get winded buttering toast. Not the buttering of the toast. Let's watch.
I don't think that it would work, me changing for him. I have entered a serious relationship with a wonderful man who comes from an Islamic nation. And out of respect and devotion to one man, I choose to wear this in.
So basically what you're saying in this past clip, this is kind of like a retro clip here. You're saying basically you're changing your entire self to be with that man. You're not taking the faith into your heart because it feels right for you on a strictly personal level. You are just, you're putting on a certain set of clothing and adopting a faith just because of a man. And we do remember when you found out about Kai Bella, you were seriously considering right then and there of taking off the hijab and taking off the abaya. And you're like, yeah, what am I doing this for? And that told me everything I needed to know about whether you were a true Muslim at heart or not. If you're willing to give it up that fast over a man, that means you never had it in your heart to begin with.
Respect for myself, respect for my partner, respect for his culture. I don't believe personally that changing for anyone other than yourself is long-term sustainable. And that's just my belief. And so if he was like, I'm going to leave you if you don't get healthier, I would totally understand that actually, because, you know, it's, I don't know, but at the same time, we still live a decent life. We still do a lot more than a lot of people who are healthier than I am. And, but at the same time, I would like to improve the quality of my life. And I agree totally.
Chantal, it's been 2 years. 2 years. When you first started out on this journey, you told all of us, you said, I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm going to be going to a different country. I'm going to be with Salah. He's going to be my partner. And he's going to inspire me to do better, to live better, to be healthier. I'm going to be away from Canada, where a lot of my vices are, where Natter is. There's so many bad memories in Canada. I'm going to start a whole new life in Kuwait. I'm just going to get away from circumstances I like to forget about. In my home country, I'm going to go to another country and just start over. And that was, what, almost 3 years ago? And where are we now? Where are you now? You're sicker than you've ever been. And you're still miserable and you haven't changed. There's been no positive improvement. I'd be the first to give credit where credit is due if there was credit actually due. I'll be the first to say, yeah, you've changed. I can see it. I can hear it. I can tell the difference in attitude, whatever, but I'm not seeing it. I'm just being real with you. There's been no real change in you, except that you're more miserable now than you were in Canada. And yet you insist on trying to keep that mask on. I'm like, I'm really married and I'm really happy. Girl, that mask is transparent. That mask you're wearing is practically transparent. There's so many cracks in it. We could see right through it. All of us, your viewers, the reactors, girl world, that mask is so transparent. It might as well not even be there. You think you're a good liar, but you're not that great of a liar. And you may think that putting on a brave face, it hides everything. It really doesn't, because believe it or not, you give yourself away in a variety of ways that I can't even describe to you. With your body language, with your eyes, with your words, with your tone, with your pitch. Hello? You know, it's just like, so why continue hiding? Why? Why continue on with this stupid thing in Kuwait? Pretending to be somebody you're not, acting like you're not miserable when you are. And at the same time, your channel is going down and people are losing interest. Your channel is your livelihood. And if you gave a crap about it and yourself, you would hightail it out of Kuwait and go back to Canada. Just shake hands with Salah and go, look, we tried. We tried this thing. It didn't work. It's okay. I'm going back home to Canada. I'm going to start over. I wish you well. Let's just part ways as friends and move it along. That would show real growth in you, that you're acknowledging that you tried something, it didn't work. And so you're going to let that go and stop the bleeding and move on to something for more positive change. But that's not how you operate, is it? That's not how you work. You're one of those people, you hang on to the wrong things and the wrong people too long and drag things on much longer than what you have to, rather than just cut them loose and start over. Because you're a sore loser. You don't like to lose. But at this stage of the game, Foodie, it's not a matter of winning or losing. You've already lost. There's no winning staying in Kuwait. There's no winning staying with Salah. There's no winning for him. There's no winning for you. Right now, the question is, how much are you willing to lose? You're already in the red. Are you willing to go full tilt? You strike me as the kind of person that would sit at a poker table and gamble every last chip they have until there's none left, and then go beg for credit and then get extra chips and bring those back to the table and get all of those gone too, rather than be that smart person and say, hey, like I'm down to almost nothing. I better stop here. Let me just cut my losses and move on. Because you're determined to win. You think you can find a way to win. You can't. Not in those circumstances, not where you are, not with the person that you're with. You might as well just let that go. Just let it go. Let him go. And don't do it for me. Don't do it for Girl World. Don't do it for the reactors. Do it for yourself. If you care. If you don't, stay over there and be miserable. But if you stay over there and be miserable, don't complain to us. We don't want to hear it. You've got more. You've got money. You've got time. You've got opportunity. Okay, you got everything you need to start over. You're just stubborn as a mule. You don't want to do it. So if you've got all the things you need to start over and you're not, we don't want to hear your crap. We don't want to hear it. Okay, there are people in this world doing more things with a lot less resources. They're getting it done. They're being successful. So you really don't have any excuse at all. So, no sympathy for the devil. You hear me? Okay. Nana Spike T says, my theory, since camping in Kuwait is seasonal, my guess is Salah is working the campsites. He got to stay early on an employee discount, or he promised to advertise the dump site. Either way, it wasn't what he thought it was. Like, I don't know what this footage is from. This doesn't look like it's from a campsite, so I'm not sure where it's from. But it wasn't the best camping site. Let's put it that way. Another one from Fondue Pondu saying, Chantal, you rage and then delete so the videos aren't existing. You aren't some innocent creator being targeted. You threatened, unaliving on Frenchie, threatened to beat her up multiple times and called her deceased mother warm food. Pipe down, you blankety blank. Did she go off on Frenchie again? Yes, she did. This is the post. Edit, there are plenty of ugly pictures of you online. Yeah, but you missed the point. I'm not the one with a hate channel with thousands of videos making fun of this moron's looks, am I? My point is, how in the F are you going to come for someone else's looks or sex life, body, etc., when you literally look like the villain from Pee-wee's Big Adventure? I cannot. People come for my looks all the time. My point is, they mostly look like this, just not as bad as FFG. So I was watching Yo Mama and encountered quite a jump scare. Ma'am, how are you going to criticize anyone's sex life when there's no way in heck you have one yourself? I mean, this picture alone could sterilize a man. Poor lumberjack. Okay. So let's go over this post just a little bit. I've got some comments. First of all, Chantal, the last time I checked, your channel was called Foodie Beauty. It was about food. You know, like your content is food, is it not? So what do looks have to do with anything? I mean, you're not like a fashion icon or a stylist or an expert on beauty. So why are you coming for people's looks? Why? Like, are you trying to do like high school crap and like try to put people down based on their looks? And you're going after Frenchie for having a channel and making her videos. Well, if you don't like it, don't look. Stop watching her. You obsessed crazy fan. You know, you're obsessed with Frenchie. Like you watch her because you want to get angry. That has to be it. Because look, y'all, yes or no, anyone out there, no matter who it is, no matter where they're at, if you hate somebody, you hate them. Like you really, really hate them. Are you going to go where they go? Are you going to watch them online? Their videos, their lives? Are you going to watch that stuff? If you know they have a channel, are you going to actively watch them? I don't think so. I mean, if you hate somebody, you hate them. You don't want to know them. You don't want to know about them. You don't want to hear their voice. You don't want to hear their name. So why go around them? Why? If you hate somebody, that means you want absolutely no contact. But Chantal's hate is it's got wavy lines, y'all. Her hate has very wavy lines. She says she hates FFG, yet she goes to her channel all the time and watches her. She swears she hates Natter and Dee Dee, and yet Natter and Dee Dee have both come onto her channel and made comments on her channel. And Natter to this day still makes content talking about her, and she talks about him, but Natter and Dee Dee are not blocked on her channel. There are Beezers on her channel that have done a lot less and they got blocked. So why has Natter and Dee Dee not been blocked when allegedly Natter has supposedly hurt her? And she hates Dee Dee with a passion because Dee Dee took her man. Why y'all so cozy with each other if there's so much hate? That's what I mean about Chantal and her funny lines of being hateful. She hates you, but yet she's gonna watch you. She's gonna be creeping around your block, hiding in the bushes, peeping in on you with little binoculars. What are you doing? What are you saying? So do you really hate FFG? Do you really hate Frenchie Foodie? I don't think you do, because if you really hated her as much as you claim, you would stop watching her. But criticizing her looks, she don't care. Frenchie's comfortable with the way she looks. You, not so much, and that's why you use all the doggone filters. Maybe you're jealous of that. Maybe you're jealous of the fact that Frenchie owns what she looks like, and you just can't. You won't. No Bueno says, nothing says love like telling your wife to take a selfie, which means grabbing her forearm, tugging her into position, and smiling at the camera for a millisecond before immediately dropping her arm and walking away. Someone tell this man Foodie Beauty will never make him famous. Well, if he hasn't gotten the picture by now, he never will. But like, watch this. Watch the interaction between these two. This is so cringeworthy. Watch this. So here comes Salah.
All right.
Okay. Tell us all about it, Salah.
Selfie here,
With your Top Gun shades on.
babe.
Okay, so like she's coming over here like, oh, this is our moment to act like a couple. He's going to hold my hand and act like he's really into me. No, he's not. He's going to dish you so hard. Watch this, y'all. Okay, so look at her body language and look at his. He's looking straight at the camera. She's got her face. She's leaning to the side towards him, inviting him into her space. But he's keeping his body completely straight. He's not leaning towards her like he wants her to get close. He's focused entirely on himself. So once again, he's looking at the camera. He's not even looking at her. And she's trying to be all cutesy. Oh, look at me. I'm so cute. Look at me in the camera. And again, look at the body language. The face pointed towards him like maybe she was hoping he would kiss her or pat her on the head or something. She was waiting for some sort of contact, which did not happen. But look what he does. He looks at her, he looks behind him, and he keeps walking. Dude, that was so cold. I love this the most for her. I really do. Let's see. Okay, moving on. All right, so this has to do with the camping stuff. We'll cover that later. Like, okay. This is a clip courtesy of Cowboy Dog. Remember what I said about Chantal using every opportunity to just grope all over Salah? Here she is doing it. Like, again, he's not touching her. He's not, like, holding her hand. And she's just reaching over and groping his arm. Like, am I allowed to touch him? Like, I'm just going to touch him while he's talking and distracted. That is so icky. Yeah, I don't even like Salah. But just, that triggers me. Seeing somebody just in a predatory way pawing at another person. I just want to slap your hand in Minecraft. Just slap it away. Anyway, in Minecraft, of course, in Minecraft. Okay, so this is from Kelly saying, Salah says he's spoiling his baby for the 2nd year anniversary. If he sees this as spoiling, I'd rather stay home. Cheap MF. So you guys saw the glamping pictures compared to this. And she's someone that she insists on luxury. Well, this ain't it. This is there's some roughing involved here. There's some adapting, and she doesn't know how to do that. Oh, look. Something positive from Why You Should Have a Cat. The splooch, the ear twitch, the paw, and the bottle 10-10. Look at the ears going back and forth with the bottle. Oh, the baby. And here she is again from Two-Tailed Caperer. Like the clip. She's looking at his arm like, I want to touch his bicep. I want to touch his arm. Again, I would slap your hand in Minecraft for doing that. I don't even like Salah. Anyway, moving on. All right. This has to do with the camping stuff. We'll cover that later. All right, look. Hey, people. All of you on Twitter, that you've got that rule, if I have to see it, you have to see it too. I'm getting y'all back for that. Florida Salt and Sass says, your mom's emotional support, something says, Chantal has a larger moose knuckle than Salah. Look, if I had to see it, you had to see it. That's just the rule. Sorry. Hope you're not eating any dinner. Put the food away. I promise it'll be over in a second. Okay, it's over. You can look again. Okay. This is like the camping live they did, or the video. IDK girl says, what the F is this? They are staying in a sandbox penned in by green tarps. How is this fun? Please, someone explain. I knew friends that did desert camping, but it was so they could do four-wheeling. What is the purpose of sweating out here just to hang in the pen and eat? I'm telling you, Salah did that to get back at Chantal. Like, she was probably yelling and screaming to do something special for their anniversary. So in annoyance, he set this whole thing up knowing it would annoy her. And it'd be somewhere that she didn't want to hang around too long. There's one other thing that I wanted to show. Where is it? It had to do with the campsites. Let me find it really quick. Okay. This is it. Mo translates. Thank you, Mo. Mo says speculation only. Kuwait's camping season doesn't start until November the 15th. They're removing campsites because people don't listen. Girl, run. But really, we know Chantal gets away with everything, so who knows? They may be camping somewhere where they won't be removed. Okay, the interesting piece of information, courtesy of Kuwait News Agency. Kuwait Municipal, words, Kuwait Municipal, whatever, removes 23 illegal sites ahead of camping season. That's a big Scrabble word. I couldn't. All right, so Kuwait, that word, removal of 23 illegal camps in the northern region set up before the camping season scheduled for November 15th. She stressed that the inspection teams will continue their work in all camping sites to ensure that there are no camps before the official date. Well, they're staying somewhere, and it's not the 15th yet, so I don't know where they stayed. All right, so that's it for the catch-up. Let's go on to the Q&A, and like I said, a word of warning, she's in a mood. She's in a mood, and it's her fault, because if she had come up with her own content ideas, she wouldn't have to do a Q&A. And if she's coming to her viewers saying, I'm doing a Q&A, send me questions, she has no right to give attitude. No right. And there was a reply to this top comment. Teaspoon Retro says, has Julia been spayed yet? And I did see something on Twitter where Chantal replied, well, you kissed my butt. I mean, she was rude to that person, but look how many votes. Look how many votes this comment got, 163. So a lot of people are wondering, has Julia been spayed yet? Is she going to get spayed? Yeah, why don't you fix up Julia, Foodie? But let's get into the Q&A, okay? Okay.
So what I'm going to do is answer as many questions as I can in this video. I'll probably do a second part, depending on how many and how long it takes me to answer the questions. I want to say thank you, first of all.
Oh, you're desperate. You're desperate for content, aren't you, Chantal? Excuse me. You're desperate for content. So you're going to split up the Q&A into 2 videos, trying to monetize everything that you can. Trying to get that holiday coin. You could have made it all one video, but you're like, I'm going to split it up into 2. Well, if you got incredibly bratty attitude going on in this video, why should anybody watch the second part? Why would anybody watch a part 2 to a part 1 video where you got a nasty attitude towards your viewers? I know I wouldn't. That's just me, though.
For everyone who's taken the time to ask me something. I don't know how much these questions are going to make me laugh, smile, piss me off, who knows. But I feel like what I'm going to do is answer the top questions first, so the ones that have the most likes, and go from there. Okay, so let me see here. I have my other phone. All right, let's get...
You know, maybe I'm reading too much into this. First impression. First impression. Before she says anything else, first impression. Chantal, it looks like you're ready for battle. You get on like the red hijab. You got on like a red outfit and the red lipstick. The last time you dressed like this, you were raging. So you're already coming into this with this vibe of like, I am dressed up because I am prepared to be annoyed and be crabby with people. Like that is how you're going into this. And man, what is going on with your eyes? I just noticed something. Your eyes are glassy. Did you take something, drink something? Because your eyes do not look natural. Like that, they're very, very glassy and red. Are you under the influence of something? I'm just over here asking questions. I'm curious. But going back to the original point, you're dressed for battle. Like you got on that red all over the place. Red lipstick, red hijab, red outfit. I think that was intentional. Maybe that was your silent signal to the reactors, because we know if you put on that red lipstick, it's go time. Although sometimes that can be misleading, because sometimes you put on the red lipstick and you're still boring. But maybe you're trying to throw the bat signal out to all of us reactors that you were going to be mean in this one. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Keep talking.
2. Let's get 2. Okay, so far there's 70 questions. Let me just top comments. All right. First question. Will you ever answer these questions? Well, smart Alec. Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Was there a reason that you would reply like that? You could have said, yes, I am answering your questions. That would have been polite. You're calling the person a smart aleck for asking a question, even though you told people to send you questions that they wanted answered, Are you gaslighting your own viewers, Foodie? I think you like to gaslight people. You basically set the trap for your subscribers, for your viewers. You tell them to do something, and then when they do it, then you get mad at them and rail on them for something you asked them to do. So why get rude with this individual? They said, will you ever answer these questions? And your response is rude. Beezers, why do you put up with her?
Thanks for your question. All right. Do you think you could spend the rest of your life in the heat of the desert and having to travel every few months for the rest of your life? Let me read that again. Do you think you could spend the rest of your life in the heat of the desert? So, thank you for the question. This is a question from a Beezer, by the way. Thank you very much, Beezer. When I live my life, basically, let me explain how I live my life. I don't ever think of the forever, you know? I really, really, really just live in the now. So, I plan for like kind of immediate future, but I don't know how I'm going to feel in a few years. I don't know what my life is going to be like. You can plan your future all you want, make these big plans far, far down the line. And then God says, no, I have other plans for you. And, or you know, circumstances change, whatever, things happen. So, I really don't know. I don't love the heat. So preferably in the future, you know, yeah, we want to travel. We want to travel and experience different climates, different environments. I typically don't like to stay in one place forever.
Can we just stop right there? There's a lot to unpack with what she just said. Okay, let's start with you like to live in the moment. You like to live by the seat of your pants. You live moment to moment. That is a very young mind way of thinking. Usually that only occurs when you're much, much younger. When you get older, you mature and you think about what you're going to do before you do it. You think about the consequences of your actions, of your words, and what certain things will lead to. And if they lead to those things, what's going to happen? You think about the action, you think about the outcome of that action or that word. I think part of your problem, Chantal, is that you are under the impression that if you get yourself in trouble, if say you spend too much money or you get yourself in debt or you arrive at a place where you get kicked out of whatever place you're at, somebody somewhere is going to come along and save you. They're going to spend their money or spend their time or bring you into their home, and it's going to save you from perhaps being on the street. Like you count on other people to fix things that you do wrong or fix bad decisions that you've made. And you really shouldn't be living like that. You shouldn't look at Salah as someone that if something happens to you, he's going to be by your side. He won't be. He's in it for him. As long as there's benefit for him, he'll stick around. Same thing with Nader. I know you're giving money to Nader. You're probably giving more money to Nader than you are Salah. You're floating both those men. Which is it's your paycheck. Do what you want to do with it. But you are supporting both men. You are helping both men out financially, but neither one of them care about you. Don't get it twisted. Just because they're around doesn't mean they care. They care about what they can get out of you. They don't care for you. If they cared for you, then you wouldn't have to pay for them. But flying on the seat of your pants is it's not a good way to live. It really, really isn't. And as far as that business of, I don't like to stay in one place too long, girl, you're over there practically squatting in Kuwait and you won't leave. You're supposed to be on a tourist visa, a tourist, meaning you're supposed to tour around, vacation there a little bit, stay for a short while and then go back home. You're not going back home. You're trying to find little loopholes and ways to stay in Kuwait because you're avoiding the tax man back in Canada. You owe him a lot of money and you don't want to pay a lot of money. And here's the crazy thing. If you would have screwed your head on straight in Kuwait and gotten yourself together, you could have paid off the tax man while you were there, and he might almost be paid off by now, or at least a good amount where you can come back to Canada and get started without worrying about him looking over your shoulder. But you continued on with your bad habits in Kuwait and nothing has really changed at all. So what is this business about? I don't want to stay in one place too long. You stayed in Kuwait way too long and you refused to come back home where you know you should go. You know you should go back home. You need to give up this fake, phony life and this image that is so not you.
Forever is kind of a word that scares me when it comes to staying put. So that's the best I can answer that question. Thanks for your question. Next question. Okay, the first question had 54 likes. The second one, 207. And this one has a whopping 411. If you weren't doing YouTube, what minimum wage job do you think you'd be struggling at right now?
You know what, Chantal? As far as the job market, even people that are highly trained, highly skilled, got a resume that it's full of gold stars. The job market out there is ridiculously hard. Even for minimum wage jobs, it's like you feel like you're being interrogated. And you, with your bad health, can you name one job that you could actually do and keep up with? You couldn't sit at a desk and answer phones. You don't have the temperament nor the patience. You don't know how to talk to people. You don't even have the help to sit at a desk and answer a phone. And you certainly couldn't do a job where you were on your feet all day, picking things up, putting things away, cleaning things. That's why really you should take care of your channel more, because this is it for you. Given your state of health and your bad spoiled brat habits, you couldn't get a regular job if something happened to YouTube. So what minimum wage job could you do? And how would people look at you if, say, you did work a job? Because knowing you would run your big mouth and tell people about, oh yeah, I had a YouTube channel and it had 100,000 subscribers and I was making X amount of money per month. If you did that, people would look at you and go, wait a minute, let me see if I got this right. You were on YouTube and you could make your own schedule. You could do what you wanted to do when you wanted to do it. And you can make X amount of money today, and all you had to do was just make a video. And you screwed that up? People are going to look at you sideways. They're going to look at you and think, what a fool. She was on easy street and she messed it up. I mean, you're on YouTube right now and you're messing it up big time by being too complacent and too lazy and too dependent on the feedies. Your side hustle is making more money for you than your main hustle. Like I saw the shift, Chantal. I could tell when you got your client list of FOODIEs large enough to where you were getting money from them. That's when you started to not give a crap about YouTube. You're like, screw YouTube. It's just like whatever money. This side hustle is much more profitable. I'm going to take care of my clients. A smart businesswoman would have kept up with both, would have cared about both, but you're lazy. And you got people backing up you're lazy and gluttonous. So you're leaning hard on them. And you just simply use YouTube as a portal to get in front of other FOODIEs to tempt them to be part of your client list. Not smart business practices.
Honestly, if I never did YouTube, I would probably be working in the field that I have been working in for many, many, many years.
Chantal, you told us about your previous jobs, and you told us like every job you got fired from your job for not showing up to work, showing up late, to it taking too long on your lunch breaks because you wanted to eat at your desk. You took one job where you're supposed to answer phones and you got fired because the part of the job was you were supposed to speak fluent French and you did not speak fluent French. So you got a job history where you weren't good at your job to the point where you got fired.
Years, which is health administration type jobs in healthcare offices, in hospital clinics, stuff like that. Or who knows, I would be doing something else. Like I'm very kind of unpredictable when it comes to changing my path of life. And even I don't really trust myself to have a solid plan. So I don't know, I might get bored with that because I was kind of getting bored with that field of work and I just wanted to do something else. So that's why I took the opportunity to try something else while I was off of work. So honestly, either an admin job or something completely unimaginable that I have no idea what it would be, so thanks for the question. But I think it's important to acknowledge that there are a lot of people who struggle with minimum wage jobs. And I do think people, should be paid a livable wage. And there's a lot of room for reform in that. And if you're struggling, my thoughts and prayers are with you. And everyone struggles in life, even me. I'm not rich,
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there. The nerve of you trying to make yourself seem relatable to other people, saying, I've had my struggles. I know it's a struggle out there. I've had my struggles. Stop. Just stop. When is the last time you struggled, Chantal? When's the last time you really struggled? I don't believe you've truly struggled. And if you did, whatever the struggle was, it didn't last long. You want to know why I say that? Because those of us that have been through some struggles, so like some serious struggles, it gives you a sort of adaptability and strength. Like if you're struggling, like you got to buy groceries that week and you got a little bit of money in your pocket, you get real creative with that money, do you not? You start thinking inside and outside the box. You're like, what can I get for this X amount of money? Maybe I can go to the dollar store and buy some groceries and make that last all week. Maybe I can just stock up on some staples and stretch the dollar, make it last longer. Maybe I can make some sandwiches. You work your ways around the struggle. You adapt and you do what you got to do and you get things done. I don't sense any strength in you, Chantal. I'm not sensing that if hard times come around that you know how to adapt. Like a lot of people, they go through hard times and they're like, okay, I'm going through a hard time. I don't like it, but let's just weather the storm. Let's just get through this. If I got to hand wash my clothes and hang them up to dry outside, if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do. Hey, we got to have clean clothes. We got to eat sandwiches this week. That's all we got. Hey, I'm grateful to have that sandwich. It's still food in the mouth. It's not lobster and mac and cheese, but it's still food. You adapt and you get through your crap. You get to the other side of the storm. You're not adaptable. You don't appreciate what you have in life. There's no gratitude in your attitude. You're set in your ways. I got to have an apartment with AC turned down to 60 degrees. If the electricity goes down in Kuwait, you're freaking out. Oh my God, the world's going to end. I don't have my AC. I don't have the brain cells to open up a window and let the cool air in and maybe put some box fans down to blow the cool air from the ocean at me. Nope, that's too big brain thinking. I'm not going to think about getting into the shower and cooling off. Nope, that's also big brain thinking. You're not adaptable. And that's coming from somebody who's been through some struggles, girlfriend. You don't have that strength. I don't see it in you. It does not exist.
Oh, by any means. I'm probably like YouTube minimum wage. I don't know, whatever. But yeah. So you got to do what you got to do to survive. I don't think there's, anything wrong with that. Okay, this one.
Don't even talk to me about struggles when for years all you've done is spend your money like it's going out of style. As soon as you get the money in your pocket, you got to spend it right then and there, or else it's going to burn a hole in it. Order and take out 3 times a day. Amazon and Temu, like constantly. Nah, you've not struggled.
Has 80 likes. Earlier this year, you mentioned that you had an appointment for a psychiatric assessment in April. What happened with that? Do you think it's necessary to address your mental health in order to build a solid foundation for personal growth, maintain healthy relationships, and achieve overall well-being? Yes. So my belief with mental health help has shifted a little bit. Ever since I've been, first of all, I don't remember saying that I had a psychiatric assessment. I think I was going to seek one out, but I just never did go. In Canada, getting a psychiatrist, the wait list is like so long. It's so long.
I don't know. I don't want to hear it. I don't, shh. I said, shh. I don't want to hear it. I don't. When it comes to her mental and emotional health, there are always reasons and excuses why she's not dealt with it. There's never any talk of solutions. It's just, this is what I could do versus this is what I am doing. And Chantal, you are effed up here, okay? You're effed up here. And you know it. I got issues. It's okay to have issues as long as you're aware of them. If you're aware of your issues, if you understand and you're aware how they're hurting you, how they affect you, and maybe how it affects other people dealing with you, you got to develop that sense of self-awareness. But you run from your issues the way you run from your addictions. You don't know how to doctor yourself. You don't know how to heal yourself. Do you understand? You don't have that knowledge. You don't have that experience. You don't have that strength. You don't have that determination. Your issues are way over your head, as well as being inside your head. You need outside help. And I don't know why you keep avoiding it. I don't know what you're so afraid of. Why can you get online and talk to thousands of people and dump all of your issues, but talking to one person is a problem? There's online help. If you can't seek anybody out locally because of where you are and maybe you can't get a physical appointment. There's online stuff you can do. It's just that you don't want to do it. I don't think you truly want to be healed. I think you like the attention that comes from continuing to stay broken. You want to be the damsel in distress. You want to sit in your puddle of misery and dark waters and act like you're drowning when you're not, because you want the attention of, like, I'm in pain, I'm hurting so bad. Then do something about it. Guess what? There are people in the world that they're hurting too. They're dealing with their stuff. They just don't come online and put their business out there. And you think that it's a smart idea to monetize your suffering. It's not smart, because everything you talk about, you've talked about 100 times. They're old topics. So treat your addictions. Go to addiction counseling. Go to therapy. Go see a psychiatrist. Go see a psychotherapist. Do what you need to do. Stop messing around. Just stop mucking about, okay? Don't want to hear it.
And here, I don't know like what I would have to do, what I would have to pay. I could look it up for sure.
She's got a phone. She's doing this video. She uses her phone. She can put the app for YouTube on her phone and look at videos and then go look at TikTok, but she can't take 2 minutes to look stuff up. Like, even just out of curiosity, okay, if I wanted to do online therapy, how much would it cost me? Are there sites out there that can help me? Can I schedule an appointment? Can I make an appointment with a counselor? Can I make an account where I can get X amount of sessions per week for whatever amount? I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. She won't even try.
But I've been in and out of mental health, systems since I'm 15. I've gone over that history. I could do another video if you want to hear the complete video.
No, thanks. We don't need another video. You've already talked that to death too. So thank you for telling on yourself. Once again, I love that about you. Chantal lies, but then Chantal tells on herself. And she just told on herself. So she just told on herself. She said, I've been in and out of institutions since I was 15 years old. So she's aware that she's got issues with her mental health, with food, and she just let them continue. She didn't treat the issues. She chose instead to monetize the problems. And the problems continued and got worse. And you know what, Chantal? Do you know what I think? I think you getting on YouTube and getting monetized was the worst thing to ever happen to you. I know for you, you think it was the best thing to happen to me, but was it? I mean, sliding door moment. What if you had not gotten on YouTube? What if you'd not gotten monetized and started making money in the way that you did? Imagine what your life would be right now. You'd be a lot healthier, because you wouldn't have had all that money to do the party favors and get all the junk food and gain another 200 or 300 pounds. Your life might have been a lot different. You might be more grateful for the things you have. You wouldn't be taking things for granted so much. You took the cup of fortune and you turned it into a cup of poison. And it's a cup you keep drinking from again and again and again. And you're not changing the liquid inside to work in your favor. It works against you. Because you're catering to a certain fetish that certain people want. And their fetish has to do with you hurting your health and hurting yourself. And you're catering to those people, and you're doing it because you're like, this is my niche and this is where I fit in, and they care so much about me. No, they care about what they can get out of you. There is a difference. A person can get something out of somebody and not care about them. You should know that better than anybody, you big narc. Don't you go to people and you get things out of them and you don't care for them? Well, that's how the fetish guys feel about you. Yeah, think on that for a minute and get back to me.
Then let me know. I can go into a lot of detail, take the time to detail that, my history with that. But since becoming more religious,
What?
just doing a lot of self-help, self-education, stuff like that on my own, reading more into things. Okay, I really don't feel comfortable talking to a one-on-one therapist or anything like that. I've tried it many times. Maybe I didn't give it long enough chance, but
You didn't. You didn't. And you've always preferred coming online and dumping all of your issues on other people, which you've done that for years and it hasn't helped. Honestly, it hasn't helped. You've not gotten better. Because even if you had people in your audience that they were psychiatrists and psychotherapists or people who were trauma therapists, they can't help you. You're not their patient. You need one-on-one therapy, private, confidential. You want to come online and dump all of your garbage on other people, and you want to be financially rewarded for doing that versus getting actual therapy that could make a difference. Therapy that you would have to pay for. You're cheap. You don't want to pay for something that is healthy. It could actually help you. You would rather stick with a Temu version, which is not going to help you at all. And so the misery continues.
I just don't like it. And again, I could go into more details at another time, but basically, I'm on medication, which does help with the mental illness. I think it's just something I'm just gonna have to like.
Okay, you know what? If you're taking medication for your mental health, good. But the medication can't fix all of the problem, Chantal. It's a shame that you're not following up with the medication and going to therapy because you need that therapy. You need it badly. The medication it's not a cure-all. It doesn't fix everything. You need to talk to somebody and work out that mess in your head. You need to. Stop avoiding it.
Live with for life. It's a medical, more of a clinical depression. Mental health runs in my family, and there's partly genetic. There's also a lot of situational things that I can change that can improve my state of mind that I acknowledge fully. It's really, really, really hard, which is why I'm not very successful because I've just, I've been to cognitive behavior therapy. I've tried that very briefly, but there's just, to me, it's like you can look up all of these things online. There's so many online registered therapists and stuff like that who have tips and how to deal with situations. That's fine. But it's just also lifestyle. I have to really, really, really set myself up for success. I have to exercise more because that really helps.
You're sitting here telling us the things that you could do. You're sitting here telling us the things that you should do, but you're not telling us of anything that you're currently doing. So, in a nutshell, what you're telling us, Chantal, is that you know what to do. You've been told what you can do to help yourself. You yourself know of different things you could do to make yourself feel better, but you're not doing any of them. So you're saying without saying, I know what to do. I know there are people out there that can help me, but I'm not interested in being helped. I'm not interested in any kind of health and healing. I am interested in just staying sick and miserable and angry and sad because I want attention for those things. Because if I am not miserable and sad and angry, if I'm so not like that, what am I going to use for content? Like, what is my life going to be? It's going to be a whole different reality. If I lose, say, 300 pounds, and I am not the miserable locale that I am right now, if my life is completely different, would people still talk about me? Will they still watch me? You're so hyper focused on YouTube and keeping people watching you. You want all eyes on you. But guess what? Staying the way that you are is not going to keep all eyes on you, because people are losing interest really, really fast. They are. They're bored with this Kuwait arc. They want it over. I do. I want it over, Chantal, because it's just like, I want to go to sleep, girl. I want to go to sleep with this content. It's nonsense. And you know it too. That's the worst part. You know it too. You've been on YouTube for a long time. You know what gets people's attention. How dare you give us this boring content? Shame on you.
Your brain chemicals, like the happy ones, you know. I have to eat better. I have to do so many things to try and improve my situation. I have to stay spiritual. I have to stay connected to God, you know. So I just think that there's a lot of things that I have to work myself. I have to work on myself and not rely so much on help from outside sources. You know, it's like, I know what I have to do. I don't feel like I'm lost and need a life coach and stuff. I know what I need to do to succeed. It's just the doing it.
You know, if you know, you think you know it all. I'm going to entertain you, Chantal. Let's just say you're right. Let's just say you do know it all. The thing is, you lack the coping skills and the coping mechanisms to put things into play. You're in over your head. So is Salah. He doesn't understand your food problem. He can't help you. You can't help you. So you have this food issue, which is way over your head and in your head. That Godzilla controls your every move and your every thought, every second of every day. You're consumed by food. And you can't fix it. That's why you need the help. There are people out there, they could tell you coping skills and coping mechanisms. They can put your mind in different directions. Help you sort out this obsession with food. Maybe if you could find something else to be obsessed with, something healthy. You could find something else that brings you joy that's not food. I mean, honestly, I'm a food addict. I'm just in recovery. I think if you ever decided to be in recovery, that would be a major task for you. That your obsession with food is so great to find something or a group of things that equal or surpass the joy and the comfort that you get from food, because your obsession with food is huge. So you've got to find something equally huge or bigger to fill once you get in recovery, because nature hates a vacuum. If you're consumed by food all the time and then you decide, I want to take all this space that food holds in my life and I want to clean it out, you got to fill the space with something else. So what's going to fill that space? That's going to be a big task for you. Doing something else with your time and occupying yourself in another way besides stuffing your face. That's going to be like a monstrous task for you, because you have no hobbies, you have no interest, you fill up your time with food. But I think that would be a real challenge for you.
You know, it's like tools are nothing if you don't apply them. It's so that's my problem. And um I have seen a psychiatrist many, many times. Um, I don't think I've had like a proper, like, recent full blown psychiatric assessment. I think that would be probably beneficial because if there are brain diseases, mental health diseases, maybe that I have, like, that I don't know, and I'm not being medicated properly for them, who knows?
Okay, you know what? Stop right there. I don't know what you have and what you don't have, Foodie, but I don't like what you just did there. You're trying to imply there might be some very serious things going on at the same time, although you're in Kuwait. And if this is something you're thinking about, if this is something you're concerned with, you could go to a doctor and find out. Like if there's something medical going on, you can go to a doctor and say, can you please check me out? Do some tests, blood tests, scans, whatever, and find out. Again, it all points back to how concerned are you about your health? How concerned are you about fixing your problems? You can't heal yourself if you're monetizing what's wrong. And you give every single bit of suffering inside and outside of you a job. Like every ounce of your pain, you treat it like an employee and you make it clock in and out at will. You have little office meetings. Okay, everybody, today we're going to talk about depression. We're going to talk about food issues. We're going to talk about sciatica. So all three of you line up because you're coming with me into the meeting room to help make me money. You're part of my sales pitch. Yeah. Putting all of your issues to work. You're not supposed to monetize your issues. You're supposed to heal them.
So maybe in the future I will look into that. Right now I'm on Cipralex at 10 milligrams, and that actually does help with taking the edge off. But I do still go into depressive moments. But I'm in and out of them. So yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of,
You know what? I'm not for sure, Foodie, but I think you took something before doing this video because your eyes are glassy. Did you smoke the shisha? Was there something else in there besides the shisha? I'm wondering.
kind of a roundabout. I don't know, really know how to answer that question. I'm still figuring it out, basically. So to be continued on that. But thank you for asking the question. You have a good point. I know there's a lot of my audience that just wants to see me do well and really tackle my issues.
You're right. There are beezers that they want the best for you. But all of you new beezers, let me save you the trouble. Those of you that are concerned for Chantal, let me save you the migraine and the time by letting you know some facts. As someone that I've been watching her for years, you may care about her issues. You may be concerned for her, but she is not concerned for her. She doesn't care about her issues because at the end of the day, she is the one that has to be the first in line to fix the issues. Y'all can be as concerned as you want, but until she's ready to fix herself, ain't nothing going to happen. And trust me, if you're waiting for Chantal to change, to be better, you're going to be waiting quite a long time. You might want to go to the kitchen and make a few sandwiches and a pot of coffee because it's going to be a minute. It's going to be a long minute. I know some of you beaches are hanging on. You're waiting for her to change. You're waiting for that magic moment to happen. It ain't going to happen. She will string you along and promise it'll happen, and it will never come to pass. Chantal, she talks about what she wants to do. She talks about wanting better health, but that's just it. She talks. She talks, but she doesn't move. There's no action behind her words. She likes to daydream out loud. And as long as pain and suffering and addiction or her content, if it's what makes her money, she's not going to change the formula that keeps on working, is she? She doesn't want her channel to be about health. She doesn't want it to be about a whole new life with a whole new lifestyle and a whole new attitude. She's miserable, but she's happy being miserable. She must be. If she weren't, she would change things, would she not? But she's not changing nothing. She just wants to get online and complain about what's wrong with her versus fixing what's wrong. So as long as you beezers are still around, giving her super chats, buying her memberships and all that garbage, as long as her channel makes money where she exploits not only her pain, but the pain of other people, as long as there's money to be made from pain, she's going to keep reaching her little hand up on the shelf and grabbing it down and pulling it to her and monetizing it. She's not going to take a different approach, and she's not going to be better as long as profit is to be made off of her pain.
And, I understand that. And I thank you for caring. Okay, this one has 76 likes. Okay, this is a long one.
Do you ever feel embarrassed? I'm not even asking at this stage to be mean, nor am I asking to be nice, I suppose. I'm fixated on trying to understand if you feel embarrassment at all. And if you do feel embarrassed, how do you keep uploading? Like, is it that you don't feel it, or is it that you don't care? Or you care a little bit, but you found a way to push past it? Psychologists have described elements like the shame landfill in recent times, in which your shame landfill starts empty and then is filled with other people's fears and insecurities. And I would love to know what you think about that. If you think you have one, let's effing go, Chantal. Let us know. I'm asking. This is the tone of someone who is asking someone else who works at NASA about Saturn, by the way. 100% genuine interest.
I'm kind of confused about that comment. Like, what? What? Shame landfill? What? You're confused about it too, aren't you, Foodie?
Okay, let me read that again. Psychologist landfill. Okay, so
you know what? I think I got the gist of what that person was trying to ask. They were just kind of long-winded about it. Does Chantal feel any sense of shame? No, she doesn't. She doesn't feel a sense of shame. Her well of shame has no bottom. It really, really doesn't. It just goes on and on and on. She doesn't feel shame. If she did, she would not have been able to do even half the things or say half the things that she's already guilty of. Because she is absolutely shameless, she is free to be as vulgar and offensive and cruel as possible. So no, she doesn't have a well of shame.
So basically what you're saying is we all have a clean slate, and then we become embarrassed and like develop self-doubt based on other people's fears and insecurities, and like we mirror that. I don't really understand that. Like, I pretty much flunked out of psychology, so like I don't understand. Maybe you could like elaborate. Maybe in part 2 I could answer this, but I generally don't understand what you mean. The first part, do I ever feel embarrassment?
No.
I mean, I'm human, so yeah,
No.
but it's very fleeting. And it's very rare that I feel embarrassed. I just don't feel embarrassed about, things that you would normally feel embarrassed about, letting one rip in public, stuff like that, like, I don't know, whatever people get, rejection, like, I don't care, like, because to me, why be embarrassed about something that we all get embarrassed over?
Okay, I've got a question, like just off the top of my head, Foodie. So you're saying I rarely feel embarrassed, right? That's what you just said. I rarely feel embarrassed. Well, if you're one of those people that you rarely feel embarrassed, why not come on camera with all the filters off? Why do you have like a million filters working on your face and your body? Because if you're comfortable in your own skin, then you're comfortable in your own skin, and you could just let it all hang out rather than do your best to hide it all from us. So maybe you feel a sense of embarrassment about that since you work really hard to hide yourself from us.
We all do. Like, we're human. We should be understanding each other, not like, not making someone feel shame and to feel embarrassed about something that happened.
Ma'am, didn't you just look? I was just on Twitter and I saw the post you made on FFG going after her looks. And here you are trying to preach the gospel about we should all like not feel embarrassed and be comfortable with ourselves. Girls, stop. Pick a side the football field and stay there. Okay? Stop trying to play both sides. You're not going to get a touchdown that way.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I really just, I guess it's just a lack of caring about these things. I am just understanding of the human condition to certain degrees and to certain things.
To understand the human condition would imply that you are human. And I have my doubts. I want a DNA test.
So that just, yeah, I just don't have that ability to be embarrassed about certain things. So yeah, thanks for asking. Okay, 85 likes. Why do you think wearing that hat is a good idea? Oh, the hat in the thumbnail,
What hat?
The tie hat. Well, I wear it just to annoy you. Thanks for asking.
Chantal will do anything for attention if it means wearing a stupid hat or wearing a stupid outfit or talking in the baby voice. Anything that gets attention, she's all about that life.
This one has 258 likes. If you post a random video and we get you to 50K views in less than 24 hours, will you go back to Canada?
Nope.
Yes. Hey, how about that? How about... I can't believe somebody asked that question or made that comment. That was great. See, the person that made that comment, Chantal, that's not a reactor. Take note. That's not a reactor making that comment. That's somebody in your own audience. Even your own Beezers want you to go back to Canada. You don't have to go back and do party favors and lose your mind and go wild. You just need to go back there because when you go back to Canada, the shift in your personality is so defined. You're so much more comfortable being in the place where you grew up because it's familiar to you. You're so much more yourself there than you are in Kuwait. When you're in Kuwait, you're like a fish out of water. That's why people want you to go back to Canada. Not because they want to see you get high and you're going to go wild on party favors and go back to matter. It's just you are more yourself at home than you are in the Middle East. You're not so phony and fake.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to, make a huge life change just for the entertainment of others. And
you know what, Chantal, listen. Shh. Stop being an idiot. Stop it. Your ego and your pride and your vanity are making you stupid. How about reframing everything? Reframe it in a way that makes you feel comfortable. If it makes your ego and your vanity feel comfortable. If you want to frame it as, I'm not going back for the reactors. I'm going back for me. For the sake of my health, for the sake of the health of my channel, I'm going to go back for that. If that's how you got to look at it, that's how you got to look at it. You're you're staying in Kuwait to spite girl world. But you're not hurting us, you big stupid fool. You're hurting yourself. You're making yourself sick. You're dragging your channel down for what? For spite. Girl, that spite is expensive because that tab is ongoing. And until you get out of Kuwait, the bill's not going to be fully paid. You're going to keep racking up a debt. You don't get it, do you? It doesn't matter if you stay in Kuwait. It doesn't matter if you go home to Canada. You're going to get egg on your face. The only difference between going back to Canada and staying in Kuwait is we stay in Kuwait, you're always going to have egg on your face. But if you go home to Canada, yeah, we're going to give it to you. Best believe that. We will give it to you. You're going to have to hear it. We're going to tell you, we told you so because we did. That's the part you don't like. We told you for months, Salah's there for the money. He's there just to use you. He doesn't love you. We told you that for months. Yet you didn't want to hear it. You thought you knew better than all of us. We knew this marriage was fake from the jump. And we said so. And you just can't swallow the pill of truth. It's just, you ain't got a big enough throat. You can't stomach it. But we told you. Just like we told you about Natter. So if you come back to Canada, yeah, you're going to get egg on your face. But if you come back and you take that egg on your face, after you take it, there's a chance of starting over and being happier, being healthier. So what's it going to be? You want them scrambled eggs for life in Kuwait? Or do you want scrambled eggs with a side of happiness? You pick the plate you want to eat from.
50K views? No, I'm not going to do something I don't want to do just for views. I've just, no. I've said this a lot. I know people are more fixated on my views than I am. People check
Ma'am, you pocket watch everybody, especially FFG. And I'm sure it burns your oversized britches that Frenchie is over there. She's not even monetizing her streams. She has no memberships. She gets the super chats, and that's all she needs. And even with just the super chats, she makes more than you. I'm sure that burns your oversized britches. You're like, I don't care about my views. Lies. You care about your views. Salah cares about your views. If he didn't care about your views, why is he insisting that when you go live, you got to stay live for 2 hours at a time? He's pushing you hard from behind to do more content because he understands that Google AdSense, you make money with it, which means he gets money. So you're obsessed with your views. He's obsessed with your views, and you're obsessed with everybody else's views because you're a pocket watcher. And you can't stand the fact that there's somebody on YouTube that reacts to your content. They don't have memberships. They don't monetize their streams. And every single month, they're kicking your butt as far as what they're making on YouTube versus what you're making. Oh, I'm sure that has you screaming into your pillow at night.
Social Blade more than I do. I maybe checked once or twice when it was brought up, my income, and I was like, wow, Social Blade is way off.
You know what, though? Yikes. And look, like I said, YouTube used to be her main hustle. It's not anymore. All that YouTube is the portal that she keeps open so she can get on YouTube. And basically, whenever she does a live stream or she does a video, she's fishing. She puts on her little fishing hat. She got her little fishing pole with the worm attached to it, and she tosses the worm into the water, and she sits there and she waits. Essentially, her videos, her lives, it's her way of saying, hi guys, I'm Foodie Beauty, and I do the feedy content. And if you like what I'm doing, contact me privately on Instagram and Cameo, and I'll do some really great content for you. But she is openly fishing on a public platform to attract the fetish guys. And the side hustle is where the money is at. It's not YouTube. Yeah, Chantal, I know what you're doing. I'm not stupid, and neither does anybody else. I've been clocking you on the feedy stuff for the longest, and everybody knows it, including you. So YouTube is just your portal to get in front of those people and attract them to you, and then you pull them around the block on Instagram and Cameo, and you get paid on the side. Yeah, girl, I know about that hustle. So, I mean, something must be going on if you're paying for your apartment, Salah's apartment, paying for all your food, take out all the time. Something, the money's got to come from somewhere. I bet you got a client list. I bet you got some regular feedies that are floating you. Bet you anything, y'all.
And then beyond that, I'm not going to obsess over numbers. Like, I'm just not. Like, I'm happy. I'm content. Like, as long as I can, like, make videos that make you guys happy, or share my life with you in some ways, or entertain you in some ways. I enjoy making content. That's why I'm a content creator. That's why I like being on the camera. I've always been that way. But
she likes the fact that she's got, listen, she thinks she's being smart. She thinks she's being incredibly clever and smart. That she's a food addict, and she's got this whole multi-layered system in place. This toxic addiction machine that she's built, where she's put the addiction to work for her, and she's made it profitable, and she's surrounded by people that are supporters and funders and enablers that help keep the machine going, that keep all of her addictions fed. Like, she's got a toxic support system, support group. And they're not going to stop her from hurting herself. They're going to encourage her to go further. And she thinks she's smart by setting the whole thing up and keeping it going this way.
I can't force it. Like, if I'm not happy doing something, you'll know. You'll just know, because for me, I'm a very passionate person. And when it comes to, I lose interest, I become interested fast, and I lose interest very fast if I'm not passionate or if I don't enjoy something. So if I don't like doing it, then, I'm not going to do it.
You know what, Chantal, a while ago, you told us, you said you like doing the food content on your channel because it was easy, lazy content. You said that more than once. I remember. Like, again, you thought you were so incredibly smart. Well, how easy and simple is this? I could just go get some takeout and turn my camera on and film it, and I can make X amount of dollars per video or per live. So the meal practically pays for itself. You think you're smart doing that. But I got to ask you, was it really smart if it led you to gain 200 extra pounds? If it led you to having less mobility and heavier breathing? Is it so smart if your blood sugar is in the 400s and your kidneys are in trouble and your feet are turning purple? Is it so smart that you're taking like 6 different diabetes medication and insulin, and you're on the max doses for everything? Were you being smart? Are you really that smart? Because I don't think so. I really don't think so.
So I'm not going to go back to Canada just for views. No. Thanks for asking. How is your lifestyle change going?
It's not going.
59 likes. I hate the number 59, so I'm going to like that, make it 60. Little bit of OCD with numbers. So,
No. I've been watching Chantal for years. I've never heard her say that she's got OCD. Never have I seen that. Never have I heard that. And before my move, I was around people that had OCD. And I'm living with somebody now that has OCD. And she doesn't have it. I don't think she has it.
I'm going to do an update video on that. But basically, it's off and on, kind of, you know? So it's not as good when I was consistently staying on track and keeping the calories counted. I do slip up here and there, but I will have in the near future a video update on that whenever I can. 44 likes. When was the last time you prayed? Okay, I have to like go on a rant about this comment because
no, you don't. You don't actually have to go on a rant about this comment. Somebody asked the question, when was the last time you prayed? There's a variety of ways you could answer. You could say, I would rather not answer that, or I would just prefer to keep that private. That's between me and Allah. I mean, there's all kinds of polite ways to reply. You don't have to rant at somebody for asking a freaking question, especially if you put the request out there for people to send their questions in so you could make a video and you could make money. No, you don't have to rant at people.
First of all, I'm not going to answer your fucking comment, okay? Because
wow, Miss Dirty Mouth.
Number one, I think it's absolutely 100% ridiculous that,
you know what? Instead of like Salah making the Beezer spray, what he should be making is Beezer soap, because she's got a dirty mouth and she needs to have her mouth cleaned out with soap. Hey, Salah, new product idea. So that the Beezer spray, make some Beezer soap to clean out her filthy mouth.
people ask somebody something so personal, like your spiritual religious journey is no one's business.
Chantal, stop. You could have chosen to keep that part of your life private, but many times over, you've monetized that aspect. Like you monetize taking the shahada, going to mosques, filming inside a mosque, which in my opinion, you should not have done. I think that's very disrespectful. Mocking praying inside of a mosque. I mean, you are not respectful of the Muslim faith. Coming on camera, swearing and using the F-bombs and smoking and being high and being gluttonous, gossiping. You've done so many haram things. So many. And you're not stopping. And you're not, what's the word? You're not remorseful or regretful for the things you've done. You continue to do them. And you continue to hide your evil by saying nobody's perfect. Nobody asked you to be perfect. How about being a good person? A decent person? Anybody could do that. Even you if you wanted to, but you don't want to. You want to make excuses for why you're not being good. You're just trying to hide how bad you are and continue to be bad.
Like, I don't know why people obsess over that with Muslims. Like, but they like a Christian. Like, I don't know if this person is Christian. If you're Christian, why are you asking another person of a different religion when they pray? Worry about your own prayer.
Maybe they're curious. Maybe you're taking their question as being disrespectful. What they're feeling when they're typing. You don't know the tone of their words. It could be respectful or disrespectful. Maybe it's said out of curiosity, but you immediately are jumping to conclusions that they're being disrespectful when you got to consider the possibility that you might be wrong. You might be jumping on somebody and they're just simply curious and just asking a question. You did tell people to send questions in, Chantal. Don't be such a biatch.
Prayer. If you're non-religious, if you don't believe in God, why do you care when someone else prays? You don't believe in God, so who cares? What is it to you? When I pray, how often I pray is only between me and God, and the only person the only being that should care is God. Like, you know, I don't understand people's obsession. Like, I've never claimed to be a perfect Muslim. I don't even really do Islamic content, you know, because I'm not a beacon of light. You know, I'm a person who's very flawed.
I so hope they kick you out of the Middle East at some point and not let you back in. It just needs to happen. You don't need to be there. You're not happy there. You're very disrespectful to the country and the people. You just don't need to be there, period.
And I'm still working on myself and my spiritual journey. So when I pray, again, is none of your business. And
you're such a see you next Tuesday.
Thanks anyways. This one has 21 likes. When will you finally go back to Canada?
The second question, people asking, are you going back to Canada? Can you please go back there? Everybody wants you back there. And Chantal, you're dumb. You do things out of spite. The more people that ask you to go back to Canada, the more you're going to stay away. So you're very resolute in your determination to stay miserable. Even if going back to Canada makes the most sense, just because somebody else suggested it, you're like, no, I'm not going to do it because it was somebody else's idea. Who cares whose idea it is? It's about making the right decision, the smart decision, not being resolute in your stupidity.
I don't know. I really don't know. If this question comes up again, I'll just skip it because it's redundant. I've answered it now. I have no idea. I plan on visiting with Salah at some point. I just don't know when. Honestly, Canada is, I want to visit other countries first. I'm more interested in doing other content. You know, I've been to Canada many times. He hasn't, but
yeah, and he wants to go. Nobody can convince me otherwise that when Chantal and Salah were talking, I am thoroughly convinced that she threw that on the table to tempt him. Like, hey, I'll bring you to Canada at some point. Just, you know, stick with me, kid, and we can work it to where I can bring you to Canada just like you want. I think she baited the hook well, and he snapped onto it, and she's had him ever since. But he wants to go to Canada. I just don't think that she can bring him to Canada. She's got bankruptcies on her record. She is not someone that could sponsor him because of her bad credit, because of her money situation. She could not bring him to Canada. And there's nobody around her that's going to sign on to be his guarantor for 10 years to sponsor him. No one is that stupid. So if he hasn't figured out by now that she can't get him over there, he's just as dumb as a box of rocks.
I think, you know, I'm just interested in exploring like foreign areas right now. So I miss my family, so I will need to visit them. With her.
You know what I think? I think she's going home for Christmas. For some reason, Chantal has to go back during the holidays. She goes back to get the presents, to smoke the green, to do the edibles. I think she can stay in Kuwait, but then, you know, like she just starts to get kind of stir crazy. So she has to go somewhere where she can just be herself, you know? Just be herself. So she likes to go to Thailand and she likes to go to Canada, someplace where there's plenty of green and plenty of food and she can get high and just be herself. That if she can go somewhere else and just take a brief vacation from this fake image of herself, like she can just carry on a little bit longer.
Or without Salah at some point, but I don't know when. The trip to Canada, my dear, is so long and arduous. So
You, not for him. If you were to look at Salah right now, Chantal, and said, hey, would you like to go back to Canada with me? He would be packing his clothes, packing up his suitcase, and saying, let's go. Like he would waste no time. That's what he's been waiting on for the last 2 years. For you, it's long and arduous. He, not so much. He would be sitting in the airplane with a grin from ear to ear. And the moment the two of you got off that plane, he would disappear from sight. He'd be like, see you later, Chantal, and disappear into the night. You would never see him again.
I don't know when I'm going to go back, but you guys will know for sure. Thanks for the comment. 64 likes. I'm not surprised. And I'm like, can I roll my eyes like major? Ow. What is your true weight? And are you going to buy clothes that fit you for your size?
Remember, you told people to send questions in, so they're just asking what they're curious about. You can't be a biatch about it.
Lorraine, your question is stupid.
No, it's not. You lie about your weight. You lie about your weight. You said ask anything you want. So people are asking what they want to know.
I mean, do you want me to go to China, Japan, Cambodia, Peru to try their scales? I don't know how many.
No, you don't have to go to all those places. Go to the local hospital, a real hospital. Get a bariatric scale that you cannot mess around with. Take your phone. Have Salah film you on the other phone where we can see your feet on the scale. And you're not dipping one foot off the scale or doing some nonsense. And let's see what the true number is. I want to see a true bariatric scale, not a bathroom scale that you can mess around with. Something that can go up to 600 pounds. And let's see how much you really weigh. My guess is that it's well over 500. Truly.
Countries I have to travel to, how many scales I have to get on, how many doctor's offices I have to visit that all say around the same weight.
That's because they were all sketchy. And the bathroom scale that you have cannot. I saw that thing on Twitter where if you are way over the weight limit, it can damage the internal core and not be able to give the true weight. You messed around with the scale that was back at the Canadian Villa. Pete showed us that the scale was teared back about 100 pounds, Chantal. And so you prefer all these little bathroom scales that can't even go up to 400 pounds and you're well over 5. But you won't go to a hospital and use a true medical grade bariatric scale. One that you can't mess around with. You won't show us the weight on that.
For you to believe my weight. So you know what? Let's just make you happy, Lorraine, and say my weight is 500 pounds. Are you happy?
We're getting closer. I don't think that's her true weight, but we're getting closer. So, okay, we'll take that, Chantal.
Good. Thanks for the question. Okay. This one has 91 likes. Do you and Salah have a retirement plan? I don't know if his job does 401k or some type of retirement fund, or even if Kuwait does that in general, or do y'all just put money aside each check into a savings account or an emergency fund in case something were to happen and one or both of you couldn't work anymore? Here in the US, I have an emergency fund and a pretty good size 401k for retirement, and I'm only 35, so I'm curious at Salah's age how he plans for retirement. Yeah, I don't think that's anything financial. Like, honestly, I don't think that's anyone's business.
Again, this person's question was not disrespectful. They were just curious. Like, they weren't trying to be nosy. They were just like, are you preparing for any kind of emergency? It's not a nosy question that's aimed at Chantal to be offensive. People just wonder, like, do you have some sort of a nest egg? If something were to happen, are you going to be okay? But of course, she's going to take it offensively as she normally does.
So I don't know.
You know, and I'm kind of reading between the lines here. When somebody asks a question, they're not even asking it in a rude way. And if she's getting immediately on the defense, that says a lot. Maybe she's getting defensive because she knows she doesn't have anything in savings. There's no retirement plan. There's no 401k. She's essentially broke. She's working broke. And if something were to happen, and let's just say she lost her channel or she couldn't work anymore, her whole world would come tumbling down around her and no one's going to save her. And I think that's where part of that defensive attitude is coming in, is that she knows she's been really, really foolish with her money. She didn't put anything away. She didn't prepare for anything. She even admitted earlier, she basically lives on the seat of her pants. And she counts on life just saving her at the last moment. Well, sometimes it may and sometimes it may not. But she's getting defensive because she knows she's been stupid with her money. And she always thought that YouTube would the money train would always be plentiful. Well, sometimes it is and sometimes it ain't. And right now it's during the not period.
What to say? Good for you. You have an awesome 401k. That's really awesome. That's amazing. Thanks for the question. Next. Okay, 45 likes. Are you going to get your tattoos removed? Oh, that's a good question, actually. I do kind of want to, yeah. I definitely want to get this one, like my chest tattoo removed. How many tattoos do I even have? I have this one on my wrist and then this one here. I do want to get them removed, yeah, at some point, but I don't know. I mean, they're still kind of there, so I got them before I was Muslim, so I think it would be fine. So I don't know. You know what? I probably won't get them removed.
Why?
Nah, probably not.
I don't see the sense in keeping either one of those tattoos. They're both ugly. And there's a lot of beautiful tattoo art out there. It's just that the tattoo on her chest with the two moons kissing, it's not the prettiest thing to look at. And the Fries tattoo, I know it's an Aries, but we call it the Fries one. But what was the purpose of that?
Not. You got me thinking about it just now, but no, probably not. All right, I'm going to do one more question and then I'm going to resume, So I do have a community post up. I'm wearing a tie hat with my cat and she's eating here because she's very fat. If you want to ask me a question, add to the list, go ahead. I will answer them all eventually. Okay. I'm not afraid to do these. Let's talk. 50 likes for this question. If Salah said he would leave you if you didn't start taking your health seriously, would you actually try it? I mean, your relationship would be that much better if it was easier for you to get out and enjoy things together. The biggest thing is you would feel better. You just have to learn to be okay with being uncomfortable until it becomes the norm. You can do it. You just have to want to do it. By the way, I do think it's great, and you've gone on walks lately by yourself. That's a great start. Thank you for the question. So, I don't think that it would work, me changing for him. I don't believe personally that changing for anyone other than yourself is long-term sustainable. And that's just my belief. There's also always going to be a part of you that's, if your partner demands that thinks they don't accept me for me. Now,
you know what's weird about you, Chantal, is that you went this far. You took the shahada, you put on the hijab and the abaya. You want to be accepted by Salah. But putting on different clothing which it was as far as you wanted to go. You saw that he's much more active than you, and yet you did not follow suit and try to get your health together, get your mental health together, get your emotional health together. It's like you're like I said, you're stubborn as a as a field full of mules, and no one's going to move you unless you want to move. So you decided to be involved with a very active person, knowing that you're not active. You wanted him to have him, to put him on a shelf and say, that's mine. But you didn't want to spend the rest of your life with him. He was just a pretty toy, I guess, a pretty knickknack to have on a shelf. Like it's all about eye candy and your eye aesthetics. Yep. But Salah could not threaten Chantal with anything because she's the boss as far as the money. She pays him. So he can't threaten her with anything.
On the other hand, I do understand if it comes from a place of concern. You don't want your partner being unhealthy. Like if the roles were reversed and Salah had the condition I have.
Like Chantal, we all know the deal. He is indifferent to you. And if he were your husband, how could he be indifferent? You know where indifference comes from? When you just don't care. When you're not emotionally plugged into your partner. That's indifference is worse than hate. Hate, you're feeling something. Indifference means you don't feel anything. It doesn't bother you one way or the other. You're indifferent to that person. He's indifferent to you. That's why you can do all the things that you do. And he's like, I don't care. Do what you got to do to make money. I don't care. I am not emotionally plugged into you. And I don't want you plugged into me. We're here for this money deal. So go make money. That's your job. Go make money for him. And he does not have to be plugged into you to make that money roll in. You're getting something out of the deal. He's getting something out of the deal. But he doesn't have to care about you to get that something. You're both using each other for different reasons and in different ways. It's a business transaction. That's it. That's all. End of story.
I would be deeply, deeply concerned about his health and really probably be on his ass to change. Yes, I would. But at the same time, you feel bad pressuring somebody or talking to somebody over and over, making them feel bad, So if he was like, I'm going to leave you if you don't get healthier, I would totally understand that actually, because, I don't know. But at the same time, we still live a decent life. We still do a lot more than a lot of people who are healthier than I am. And, but
you make him miserable. You're a miserable person by yourself, Chantal. You can't even stand your own company and you make him freaking miserable, dude. You have to know that. You have to know what a ball and chain you are. Him being a 30-something-year-old man, he's much more active than you and you're older than him. And you've got the stamina of a garden slug. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to go anywhere. You want to lay on the couch all the time and watch movies. You're boring. He wants to go out and do things. You don't. You have to know what a hateful life that is for him.
At the same time, I would like to improve the quality of my life. And I agree totally. It would greatly improve our lives. We could do so much more.
I've been saying all this stuff for the last 2 years. What's different now?
Activities. Just I on a personal level would enjoy my life more too.
You would, but you're not doing nothing. We're talking in circles again. Oh, I could do this. So I do know that. I know what I need to do, but you're not doing nothing. So we're going to keep walking and talking in circles. We're going to walk a hole in the ground.
So of course that's going to affect the quality of our life, our relationship, etc. So, yeah, I see what you mean. So it's a complicated question, I guess, for me to answer, but thank you for asking. So yeah, anyways, guys.
Okay. That's it for the Q&A. Hope you guys have enjoyed this react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.